record. So today, let's start the meeting, the Kubebuilder and Control Runtime meeting. Today is 30 of June of 2022. Don't say nothing that you don't want to be recorded and to be in the internet for the rest of the times. So let's start by new faces. Have we any new faces that you'd like to say a hello for us?
Sure, I can say something if that's all right. Uh, I'm Robbie. I've been interacting with some of you guys in Slack for a while now. Just figured I'd stop by and kind of see how this works for the first time. So nice to meet you guys virtually.
I'm Austin. I don't come to these meetings very often, but I've been here before. But if you don't know me, I'm Austin as Macdo. And yep, that's it.
Welcome, Robbie. This is Jesus from the SDK team. I come here every once in a while.
I will not put your name, Jesus. Okay. That's cool. Anyone would like to say anything more for the Robbie? Beyond of a welcome, or Robbie, would you like to say anything else? Like if you have interest in something or
My team, I work at a company called Appian. Our team is building, an operator. So I'm using, some of the Kubebuilder controller runtime stuff. Yeah, I've been semi-active in Slack. Just kind of figured I'd stop by and join the community and kind of see this side of things as really being an end user up until now.
I always like to tell new folks to just like always ask really dumb questions as they come up, because like if you're having this question, probably somebody else has this question. We can always do stuff better. So.
I love these silly questions. I do many of them.
I think I learned half of what I know from Camilla's questions.
I know. No, I like it because I think silly questions are important, right? Is where we understand how the things actually works or should work. Right. So can we start the triage?
Yep.
Yeah. So the first one is this one. I opened this one because in Kubebuilder, we have a feature that is to allow you to configure via a YAML file the configuration that you'll be passed for the manager. So for example, if you want to deploy the operator in one server and you have one configuration and deploying another server and you have another configuration, you could use this YAML file, right? This configuration works like when you create the project, you put init, change the flag, and then the scaffold is done accordingly. But since that the scaffold with the config component is done no matter if you put the flag or not, so I believe that it is a bug. I didn't check too much further. I read this tutorial too many time ago. This feature is before we have the plugin ecosystem. So my idea here, and we started to have many people, not many, it has one ticket in SDK, another in the Stack Overflow, and one guy also tried to push a pull request to change the object because in Stack Overflow has an instruction that doesn't seem accurate, it doesn't make sense. So the person was trying to change the things. So I opened the issue, and my idea here was like we check out the tutorial, review the tutorial because I didn't that, but and then verify like if or why we are scaffolding the file by default, right? That shows the problem here, because in the default scaffold we can see the file, but that doesn't work because it also needed to change. I can show here. Maybe it's easier, right? If you came, I think it's not here. It's in config manager. We have this file, right? Controller manager config. But for this stuff work, we need to change the main goal as well to look for the things in the manifest and it doesn't looking the things in the code. So we should not scaffold a file that is not used in the full scaffold, right? Only if you use the flag, then you see the file. That will reduce a lot of confusion, I think. The other point is like, I think it would be nice if we could change that for the plugin ecosystem because it was done in the past. And this could be a plugin, right? I want the component config in my project so I can run init plugin component config and have the scaffolds for the component config. Or I want to ditch my project to component config. I can pass the plugin and the plugin will try to write or update the current scaffolds to comply with. Is that make sense?
It makes sense to me. So basically, you want to take component config, remove the flag, and make it into a plugin.
Yeah, in long term,
And
yes.
don't, well, first, don't scaffold it without the flag and then turn it into a plugin. Do we want to do both at the same time or?
If the person that you do that you want to do both, it's fine. I just tried to broke it, like because I thought that would be easier. Like
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I see your proposed. I didn't see that part earlier. Yeah, I think fixing the bug first would make sense.
just
would
to pass the
actually-
idea.
It would
Right.
probably be better if this was two issues then. One for the bug and then the other one for the long-term one. And then we can associate. If they both get done at the same time, that's fine. But I fear that keeping them together, the problem is if I fix that bug portion, this issue's still open. I mean,
Sure.
if folks are okay with that, that's fine. I mean,
We can also create, I can do that in the other, or we can put a meta here and you put a checkbox here and here.
oh, that's fine too. We can solve it that way.
Yeah. Then solve as well.
I think if you just put the boxes in front, it may work.
I think it's this way, right? But put it here, sorry.
Yep.
I don't know what it. So slow. Okay. And you also check it, right?
at
The
that.
documentation and to see if it's all fine. I will say I didn't, right? Maybe has help for improvements as well. Always has. So. And by doing the plugin, we need to update the documentation anyway.
Would this be considered a breaking change, or is it no because we didn't want this to be on by default anyway?
I think we cannot remove the flag. We need to deprecate the flag.
I mean
And
by the default, because you said it was scaffolded even if the flag wasn't passed in. Or is
yeah,
that-
then I don't think it's a break change because
Okay.
it's a bug, right? Doesn't work. We are putting a file, exploding files that it doesn't make sense.
Okay. And yes, I agree the flag has to be deprecated.
And deprecate the flag is still keeping the same behavior for the flag, but the flag can only calling the plugin code, for example, and then we don't need to keep maintaining both.
Yep.
I can supplement that
No.
afterwards.
That makes sense.
I put important soon. I don't know if everybody agrees or disagree. I put a feature request as well, right? If someone disagree, I can remove this one.
No, it seems fairly important to me.
Are you pull?
At least the bug is. The bug
Yes.
portion.
Yeah. Yeah, we can change. Help you wanted. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can move it for the next one. I didn't put triage, right? Sorry, folks. Okay. I don't know why I didn't remove it from my triage thing, but okay. I think I'm not removing. No milestone. No, I think it was this way, right? No triage. Accept. Let's see. Go. It's not this way. Okay, I will leave it there. This one is automatically issue that is open when it's not possible run the coveralls. So probably it's a network issue or something broke. You assign that for me and I will work on this afterwards. I will check what if it has something wrong and fix. Okay, this one. Okay, this one, Varsha suggests this one. I think we was discussing a pull request. And she was speaking about the environment variables, the configuration that we can do in the Invitash, and that she doesn't explain how work with search manager and Prometheus, for example, that are options that you can enable by default in the project. So if I have a project and I want to use the Invitash and I want to test in my controller something that requires the Prometheus or the search manager, how I can configure it. That is not in the documentation as well. So the idea was just to like track the need and see if we can supply afterwards.
Is this just updating the document?
Yes.
Okay.
Put triage.
Is it considered a feature?
No, just doc.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, this one, it's another thing. Are you open here? If you look, I think this is new, right? I have been seeing many Kubernetes labels in the same way, new, but maybe not so new, but in the past, I believe that it doesn't have this standard or this document. I'm not sure, but it's a guess. But this request came from users that was complaining that they were trying to use logs, aggregate logs in another tools for projects that are built with SDK, Kubebuilder, and the logs is not the same. They cannot like filter by the labels because any person uses the label in a way. And they shared this document. So seems like we have this definition about how would be good, right? What is the recommendation about the labels? And I don't think we are following that in the Kubebuilder or the SDK or in the documents or, in all places, however. So the idea was like we checked the labels that we created by default in the scaffolds, try to update for that, and check the documentation, check all places that we use the labels and see if you can change.
What are we proposing to change them to? Or it seems to me that we need, I would need more context in this issue. Basically, I think I understand that what we're asking is that we should.
It's the idea is more
verify-
ensure that our scaffold follow any label that is created by default by our scaffold follow the recommendations.
Well, what would our label look like? It wouldn't look like the app Kubernetes IO, right? Wouldn't it be something Kubebuilder specific?
I think
Wait, are
it
these
is
labels for the operator or labels for the operands?
these examples are for the operands, but we have documents, we have examples, right?
So this would be adding documentation to like ensure users add right labels on their objects, or is there something internally which we need to change the label format which we have been adding to the scaffolding? Because I think uh, our internal scaffolding format is right, but I may be wrong. We'll have to take a look at it.
Yeah, I didn't check as well, Varsha. I think we create one label, controller manager, something like that. Right? I don't know. I can check in here. I don't know if you will be able to. Okay. I think the label that we create by default is this one, right? Controller manager, controller pin. So this label we cannot change, right? Because it would be a breaking change. We can change in a future plugin, but I think if we change now, I don't know if it's a breaking change or not, but it probably is, right?
Yeah,
We need
that
to
would be
check.
a huge breaking change.
But you
But,
could add to this. In other words, we could add like IO Kubebuilder / control plane or whatever the actual format that we want it to be, and add it in addition to it. You could have both.
Yeah, if the label, like if we scaffold the label only when we initialize a project and the labels are not used when we create APIs or create a webhook, it's not a break change, because the break change is I have the project, I scaffold, I update the Kubebuilder tool, right? Then I will create one API or create one webhook or edit something. We have the edit as well, right? And edit something and the things doesn't work anymore because it has changed. Like my scaffold doesn't work with the other subcommands, the scaffolds, because they change. Then it would be a break change. I think you affect, but I don't know as well. So basically, it's like the idea here is do everything, right? Analyze the code that we have, but we don't have only these things. Like we have also, sorry, we have here docs, and we have here like on the test data, right? So here, for example, we create the CR, we implement a controller. So then, for example, if the recommendation is only for the CR, what I think is not, I think it's more about the format as well, right? We need to change the doc, check every place that we use the labels and check how should it be according with the Kubernetes documentation. Then check the places that we can change now and the places that we cannot change.
can we make this a meta issue and like have points on where to look at so that it's easier for anyone coming to take up and look at it? Documentation, the project scaffolding, the internal Kubebuilder code. We can have points for that.
Falling. About labels, right? I think that then we can. Oh no, maybe so. But then see how the emoji should be changes or same as before. Maybe that's almost. Success.
Kudos to you to be able to type all of this with so many people watching.
And when you're terrible in English, maybe
No.
you're able to move forward.
You've made way less typos than I would have.
Have you seen my English? Like, it's not.
The backspace key is my friend when people are watching me type.
It's not too good, but next
I think I type worse under pressure too. Like as I'm streaming, it just gets worse and worse.
it is terrible be looking other people typing, right? But it's okay, more or less. I can shape that offline as well. We can try to maybe or better. Maybe we can let's change alpha plugins. That's enough. Your English is good. My one is terrible. You are American. You're born speak English. You are in the front of us. That is so easy. I want to, if I have a kid, I want to speaking my language, of course, but also English by default because it makes so easy the life. I would love speak English by default. I'm a so slow person to learn English. So this one, can we accept it? It's fine. It's reasonable, fine.
Yes, for me.
Yes.
Kind of docs as well. Help you wanted. Let me
Yeah.
know if someone's agree. Triage accepted. This is probably brought wrong, right? And see how they need to change them. Okay, the other one. This one is for me. The latest release, I try to push the things, all working, all problems were solved now, but then the credentials are not working, right? We have I can show here. Here. Go release it. It's not here, is here. Here. We have a secret that probably is in the Google Cloud. I tried to find, I didn't. And we have the token, the GitHub token. Why that is required? Because after go there, take the code, build all binaries, the script you try to came here and you put the binaries, update the stuff here with the binaries. I can show the binaries with this stuff that is built in the Google Cloud. But then for do that, you need permissions as to in the repo, right? To edit the things in the repo. And the problem is all work fine, but at the end of the process, but I faced that issue that is, I can come back here. Bad credentials. So you can see here, all work fine. And then was not possible do the post in the release space. Bad credentials. So I need to figure out how we can do that. Like how to, okay, I know create the token for my account, but I don't want to put Camila's account there, right? I want to see, so I need to figure out if someone knows, please let me know how to create the token for the repo and how we can configure it, because we cannot put here the token public, right? You probably need to use a secret. We cannot, because other people can take the token and use, so you'll not be safe. So need to see how generate the token and how to make this configuration. I try use the secret GitHub token as we do in the GitHub actions, and that doesn't work. People.
Yeah, we're here.
Okay. I
I
was
don't know the
afraid.
answer to this.
Yeah, I put it for me because that is really bad, you know. I document all steps for do manually because I spend like 4 hours, because we do a release each 3 months. And then after 3 months, I don't remember the steps that was done before to solve the issues. So I did manually the release last time. We trigger the cloud build, and then we put the binaries, always done like done automatically. Here I put my token instead, but the idea is like any person to a release just create the tag and you know and you don't need to know anything about. So I put this one for me. I put it triage accept because unless anyone doesn't want to accept this issue, but we needed to solve because I don't want you to do things manually, and I want any person go there and do this stuff. How to do manually? If someone needs to know, if you came here, anyway, has this release. Here is everything documented how to do the release, and you should have it here. How to do the release. Here, what to do if things goes wrong, right? So you have the steps to do manually. If you want to know how to do that. And this is the step that is broken there in the configuration. We need a valid token. The token that is there is not valid.
Mm-hmm.
So moving forward to watching this one. This one is a meta issue that we created for the student in the Google Summer program. If you look, folks, the new deploy image plugin already exists, but our idea was like, let the create the plugin, do a init version, like it adds the value, but move it step by step, because otherwise it would be something too big, too hard to review, and too hard to start to use and see the errors and see how we can improve as well. Also, another problem would be like for them, like a student work with the rebases and and the rebase with master with the chains. So if Autodesk cheese would be the easy way to go forward. So if you check here in the test data now, we have the new plugin, deploy image. And the idea of this plugin is like, you go there, you create the project. Then I want to create one API that you deploy and manage a image, right? My operand. And then instead of we do everything input, we will do like the basic stuff to manage. The idea is we have the tests, the controller that is done now. If you check here, so the controller here do the deployment, right? So we have also many comments like why the things happens, has the size as well. So you see here, you have comments for the links, why the things are here. Also, if you check here in the config samples, you have the samples like with the to do, with this is the port used, this is the default one, the size for this one, the main cache. So has some options as well. You can pass the commands, the port, and if you want the container be created like with to run as with a user specifically. For now we have only the sample, the controller, I think, implemented, and stat, right? Change the tests, and the things for, and all implementation for the plugin, right? The plugin has the samples, has the tests, has a lot of things to came to these results. So if you check here, you see like, you can see here all these scaffolds, what was used to do the scaffolds, like the options usage, but we don't, it's not doing too much yet, right? We need to put the tests. Let's see the meta issue again. So if you come back here, so this was created for we track what more would be like in the project that you'd be working on. So scaffold the controller tests, add some finalizer with at least the code and like to do and like links and things explain how to do a finalizer and when that is required. We put here the labels as well to create the science, like follow the good practice, see how if you can create with that labels. And the other problem is if you look at the integration tests, it has a lot of integration tests. So it creates the controller is doing like as the other things. But when we create the pod, the container is using main cache and it is other image, busy image. And in the Pro it's impossible download the image. I think it's because it's from the internet, so it's not working. It's not authorized to do the download in the Pro. I need to check. So one thing is like fix this part for we be able to check that the pod work and and the status is okay, it's running. If it's not possible to test with a Pro, or we can like mock a image, or we can try to move for GitHub. The other thing is put status conditions, and the last idea not too much important to be like when you use the image scaffold, put in the config manager envivar with the name of the image. Could I share everything? Was too much?
So this is the project that they're working on?
Yes.
Cool.
But I thought it was nice to share as well, because if someone would like to test it, give you ideas or thoughts or, feedbacks, and feel free. I think, I don't know if you want, this one, I don't know if he's accepted or not, because we are more like just tracking the things. So all things that are here are in the document proposal. So less the labels, right? This is new. This would not be in the design proposal doc. So I will move forward. Nobody say nothing. Okay. This one. Okay, this one I open. It's, I don't know, maybe I think I updated that. I don't know if I update. Maybe I update this one. But we have the migration guides, right? And the migration guides has the versions that it was used when we created the V3. And we have been bumping Kubernetes and blah, blah, blah. And the idea is like the migration guide is from the V2 to the latest V3. So it's just to go there and ensure that it's all updated with the latest things. I can put it is for me if someone has no objection. I will put it triage accept the silence. I will say yes.
Triage accepted.
Okay. I don't remember this one. So this, I don't know if it's true, right? I'm not so skilled on this. But when I look at Docker, I think yes, Docker inspect to the image, right? I think if I look at the platforms here, yes, I'm seeing only Linux, right? If I go there in the cloud, I need to click on the button, sorry, folks, because I cannot memorize it if he has in the release doc. If he if you came here, we are building for all these archetypes, right? But it seems like we have one image. Let me know if I'm wrong here. One image for each archetype, right? Another way to do that is like you have one image that can support many archetypes.
Are
Oh.
these images built by us, or who builds these images?
It's
The
built by us
uh,
in the Kubebuilder.
Oh, okay. Good.
There are builds just for share. This is the branch. So we build here. And we have a target in the Google Cloud. And when we push a pull request for, and when we merge a pull request into this branch, we build automatically triggering the Google Cloud, and you can check the build. I can show if someone would you like to see how that works after.
So what's
You need to be a maintainer to do this?
Sorry?
Do you need to be a maintainer to be able to do that?
To build? No, it's everything automatically. When you push the pull request and it gets merged, any changes that you do usually is the bump, right? So that image is the proxy one. So for example, until this part will be automatically when the donation of the project finish for the Kubernetes SIG. But for now, like they release a new stuff. Then we push in that branch. I will come back there. Sorry. Let's come back here.
Okay, so I think this sounds reasonable. I think I could do this if you want to assign it to me.
Do you know how to do? I can show for you where is everything.
Well, I'm familiar with Docker manifest lists, but feel free to move to the next one, and then we can work together offline.
Sure.
I had a question on it.
Sure.
What was the driving factor for creating just a single image?
I really like your question. I really like your question. What is the driving factor? Okay, I want to build a solution, an operator, right? In this operator, I have images. I want my solution working in many servers with different architectures. If I don't produce this all platforms, if I don't say my image supports all platforms, and I have one different image to support each platform, that means that in SDK, for example, I would need 4 or 5 bundles, right? Each one bumping a different image. So I don't want that. I want to have one bundle that it doesn't matter the platform where that is applied. I'm capable of support.
Okay.
That makes sense. Not too
Yep.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not specific to bundles either. It's it works for. But I see the request because today, using this current one, if I have an operator and I deploy it to an ARM64, I have to pull the right
image for
proxy,
yes.
and by switching it so that they support multiple architectures, I can just link to the one and it'll work with the different architects. Okay.
Yeah.
Valid.
So if you also you can help on this one, you'll be like really nice. You'll put you here. I think I found you here. Not.
Try ASMACDO. I don't think I'm a member of this GitHub org.
AS. No, I think you're not here. But no problem. I'll put it here and I don't forget because it is one I really like to work for as well. So I'm so happy that you want to help. So I accept it. So that is the idea, right? Yeah, for Kubebuilder, I think we have only this image, right? So it's the only image that we provide in the scaffolds by default. So it's the only limitation for who uses the tool and wants to do this stuff. Because today, if I operate or author and I want to do that, I would need to build the image for me or do 4, 5, 6 versions of my solution. Okay.
Before you go to the next one, I think we have 10 minutes. Were there any topics or anything that folks
Yeah.
usually
you.
talk about? I know we have folks that are here, and I didn't know if anyone had anything that they needed to bring up. If not, we can keep going. But
I opened an issue against controller runtime. Do you guys triage this as well? I know it seems like what the past few meetings are cancels, maybe triaging is behind, but I was curious to talk about that. But I can also wait till next week.
We don't triage the control runtime ones, only Kubebuilder. But
Okay.
if you do you want to share what is the issue?
Yeah, it's the fourth one there. The cache continuously out of date and effective watches.
It's this one.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, not sure if just saw some odd behavior where basically it seems like our controller just either the watch for the custom resource, got an end of file and it didn't realize and didn't pick back up. Basically, the result was that, we weren't getting watch events. The cache was kind of out of date. So when it did reconcile, when it tried to update, it was getting like HTTP 409 conflicts. Found an interesting issue upstream against Kubernetes that describes a similar thing, but for aggregated APIs. I'm not familiar with the concept, but I think they're similar to custom resource definitions. So this might be something that goes upstream. Just curious to kind of bring it to your all's attention and get feedback.
Yeah, you need to read this one. So, but basically, let's see if I understood what happens. You are watching, you have the cache. The cache was not updated. And then when you call the client to update the things in the hash service, the things start to face conflicts.
Yeah, correct. And I use the API server audit logs to kind of show that, whereas the informers and things like that are, invoking the watch API, every 10 minutes or so for all of the, built-in resources, that it kind of failed to do so for hours for the app or for our customer resource in this case. Yes, it's kind of showing that there with like, you can see the watches for, config maps and deployments and stateful sets and all those different things, but the watches for our customer resource were not happening for, ever in this case.
Are you using labels on your watches, or are you watching all deployments and all service accounts and everything on the whole cluster? Because that seems like it could blow up the cache really fast and get behind.
I don't believe we're using labels. We're using like the owns like mechanism, right? Which I suppose would still watch all of them and do like post processing to figure out which ones get to the controller. Is that right?
Yeah, you are not
So-
customize anything.
Is the resources which are being watched, like even if you have the owns, is it being watched across all namespaces or the namespace in which the controller is in? Because the reason, if it's watching across all namespaces, then as Austin said, there are high chances that the cache could blow up, and that could be one of the reasons that cache is not getting flushed and updated. And
yeah, in this case, the controller is watching only its own namespace.
okay.
Someone link it to this issue, right?
Yeah, a teammate of mine dug this up, which seems extremely similar. But for is it aggregated APIs? I think it's a concept similar to custom resource definitions. though I
Cannot
haven't
be the
used it.
client goal.
Yeah, so that'd be client Go. So maybe, or was that an issue in Kubernetes? I think so. Maybe this goes upstream. I'm just kind of curious to see if you all concurred.
No, I didn't saw that, but it shows that you are not the only one, right? I don't know if all your team came here and voted this one.
Yeah,
but-
I think that's what happened there. Those are all people I know.
So okay, I will help you.
Nicely
But-
done.
It's the open source way.
So, but no, it shows a very interesting problem, right? Has a way to reproduce that? Do you provide a way to reproduce this to be sure? If I do a small application like only one CRD and one CR, do I face this problem as well or not?
Yeah, I haven't been able to reproduce. I know the issue I linked. They linked some reproducing steps for the aggregated APIs, though I haven't tried them yet in our case.
If you'll be able to provide a way to reproduce, by sure that you'll be helpful, right? Because if we try to solve you need to try to reproduce. If he is in control runtime, but that seems like if he has other projects, it's possible that he be in the client goal or something like that as well. Just doing, I guess.
Yeah, okay. I can work on that.
Is your operator open source? Can we like try it?
It is not, unfortunately. I would like that though.
Yeah, because this is an interesting scenario where profiling would have what's happening to the cache. But yeah, if there's an open source version, it'll be nice to try and check that out.
Did you try to bring that in the channel, in the control runtime channel?
Yeah, I brought it up in the Kubebuilder and controller runtime channels. Didn't get much or didn't get any response there. So I figured I'd hop in here and bring it up.
I think we can. Interesting, right?
Well, this was community interesting. I'm interested.
Yeah, the other issue seems to indicate that maybe like a networking blip basically just caused the watch to die. I don't know exactly, but
If I'm wondering if the watching pod is having like an out of memory error trying to start up again.
you mean the controller like pod itself?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed to be running fine. I mean, it was reconciling. Just when it reconciled, it was reconciling against older resource versions of the object in the cache, and so those were failing.
Shows that the mechanism like to say, okay, this fork changed and I will update the cache with the new version of the fork didn't work well.
Yeah, like it just seemed like the watch, which is meant to be, updating
Yeah.
that internal cache, it just seems like that dropped off and it wasn't restarted for some reason. But only for the custom resource, like it was continuing for all of the other things we watched, like
Only
big
for
maps,
custom
deployments,
resource.
etc. Yeah.
Okay, I think we can try to look on that. I don't know if someone would like to volunteer, but we definitely, that shows a very interesting problem. I think if you'll be able to provide a way to reproduce, that will be very helpful.
And you said you mentioned this in the controller runtime Slack?
Correct.
Okay. We may want to go back to that thread too and just kind of bring it back to life.
Yeah, I'd like
another
to
option.
take this up and look into it. This seems an interesting problem because I've seen the errors telling the object has been changed pretty often, but this is an interesting case where the controller is not responding to it because we usually consider those to be cube logs just as warnings. We never take that seriously also in Helm operator. So yeah.
Yeah, the issue I linked has some reproducing steps. I'll see if I can apply them to the CRDs, but they do seem extremely similar. So I wonder if I just, I don't know, maybe close mine and pursue the other one. But anyway, I have to drop, but thank you guys very much. And I'm sure I'll
We
see you
all-
guys some up here again. And
We
chat.
all need to draw because the meeting finished now. We have 1 minute. So really thank you. Really thank you for bringing the topic. Really thank you for your attendance. That was nice.
Varsha, keep me informed on this one.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
I'll be watching you.
So I think we can stop the recording, call that a week here.
Thanks,
folks.
Mila.
And thank you for all folks. Thank you for the help and your attendance.
Camila.